Hi everybody, I wanted to do a quick video for you today about IPVanish. You know, I talk about IPVanish a lot in my articles. I live by IPVanish. I recommend IPVanish to all my clients, and I use it myself, obviously. And it's a pretty exciting week. IPVanish is offering a 66% discount on their service. That's an incredible discount. You really don't ever see discounts lower than that. And I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can take advantage of this offer. But what I wanted to do was just I've done articles and videos in the past about how to install IPVanish. I just wanted to do an updated video because this is data security day, data privacy day is coming up on the 28th, and in sort of celebration of that, that's why IPVanish is offering this incredible discount. So let's get right into it. Obviously, if you power on your Fire Stick, this is the screen you see primarily. You can go over here and search for IPVanish. It's in the Amazon App Store, so you don't have to do any side loading or use anything like that. It's just a normal install, just like any other app. I'll show you the article I just recently wrote. You could go into here, go to apps, and then if you go down and go to categories, you'll see that there's these categories here. It's real easy. Just go down to utility. This will bring up all the utilities that are the applications that are considered utilities. And you see right there is IPVanish. Very simple. Click on it. It is right here. I already own it. Supposedly, it's a free app, obviously, but so click on there. It's going to do this little download. This is probably the easiest process of any app. Most of the apps that I write about are side-loaded, or they're installed from the Kodi America Jailbreak app vault. It's really important to get IPVanish on your system. If you're going to be streaming and using these apps that I talk about, very important. You know, if any of you guys that have been around for a long time and sort of been using the internet for years and years, things have really changed. Some of the people that are newer to the internet, they don't know either that this is not the world that we used to live in. It's not just a matter of hackers and things like that. The government certainly is watching you. Your ISP is watching you. I've said it a million times of the story I tell. When I lived in the U.S., I was a Comcast customer. And I was messing around with BitTorrents and things like that early on, and I received a letter from Comcast, a friendly reminder that software or that downloading copyrighted content was illegal, and they had the file name right there. So it's not a joke. It's not just about that. You can read some articles. I'll link some other articles I've written about, other benefits of a VPN. But if you don't already have your VPN, now is the time to go ahead and buy this, because it's just dirt cheap anyway. But with this offer that IPVanish is extended to us, we really should take advantage of that. So okay, IPVanish installed. So let's click open. Very simple. Once you've created your account on IPVanish, you'll receive an email, or when you sign up and create your username and password. This is where you'll put this. Now, I'm not going to show my username and password, so I'm going to pause the video for a second and put my stuff in, and then we'll be right back. So, I put my user information in, and it's logging in. I hope I picked the right password in. I normally never have to put it in. Here we go. So, this is the main screen of IPVanish. There's not a lot of things you can do here, but we'll go through some settings. Now, obviously, it shows my visible location and my IP address, which I'll blur out because That kind of defeats the purpose of using a VPN. You don't really want to give the world your IP address. If you notice on my site, when you go through the articles, there's a yellow box there that where I talk about why you need a VPN in every article, and it shows your IP address there. Your IP address is something that's really easily obtainable by just anything. So you don't really want people to know about your IP address, because then they can try to hack back to that IP address, or they can track that IP address. If you're using, that's the whole reason to use a VPN. Well, that's not the whole reason, but that's the main majority of people. That's why they use a VPN. Obviously, you're going to use this VPN primarily to obfuscate from where you're at. If you're using some streaming services that are geo-restricted, like you're in Europe and you want to watch geo-restricted content in the U.S., you just connect and pick your country where you want to appear to be. So that's what I'll do right now. I'll show you how to go ahead and do this. Now, right now, the defaults is United States, and the city is best available, and the server is best available. So imagine that you're in Medellin, Colombia, like I am, but you want to watch European TV. So you can just go through here, and let's just find somewhere where we want to be. Let's go to the United Kingdom. So you click on the United Kingdom, and you see that now that's changed there. Now, normally, in most cases, if that's all you want to do is overcome the geolocation for a country, you can just say that's it. Now, if you want to pick a specific city, let's just go to Glasgow. Now, these settings will stick. So these are like the settings for how you want it to generally connect. The server, oh, I hit the home button. I apologize for that. The server, you can pick that too. If you can see, there's ping times there. They're both about the same. But you might have, depending on the country that you pick, you might say, well, I always have better luck with this server because its ping time is always slower. For the most part, for most people, we're not going to worry about that. The city and the country is sufficient. At this point, you can just click connect, but let's go ahead and go into some settings here, and I'll just show you. I recommend turning this on. This starts IPVanish automatically every time you boot your Fire Stick. That way you know you're always connected. These settings also apply for the app, no matter what, if you're using it on your phone or your tablet or whatever, these settings are still going to be applicable. You can say what you want it to do. If you want it, you want it to start up and just sit there and not connect, do you want to connect to the last connected server, or do you want to connect to the fastest server? You can play with these settings, and depending on what you want to do, I would usually select connect to last connected server, because that way it'll always connect back up and it'll connect to the correct server. Auto reconnect is kind of like if something happens and you lose your internet connection or the connection drops for some reason, IPVanish will maintain a persistent connection. It will continue to try to reconnect. So that's already on by default, and that's why I would leave that on. You can for LAN access, local LAN access, you don't want if your computers are connected to one another, you don't want to send all the traffic. By default, all the traffic from a computer is sent through the VPN. Local LAN access says, hey, if I'm talking to a computer in the other room, there's no need for you to go all the way out to the internet and all the way through the VPN and all the way back. You can just, internally, you're not going to have an issue. So you leave that unchecked. Split tunneling, you can say, I only want a certain app. I want Mobdro to be able to connect without using the VPN tunnel. So that way, if you have apps that you don't want to use the VPN, you can just select them in there. Scramble is pretty a decent a feature, because a lot of times the providers that you're connecting to, they can detect that you're using a VPN, and they'll say, oh yeah, we know that all the VPN traffic is always sent across these certain ports. So anything on those certain ports, we'll just block or we'll throttle. This scrambles it so that it's on a different port each time, and uses different connection methods each time. It's not just port, obviously, because you can also change the port that you want to use to connect. Now this is the port. I'll backtrack a little bit. This is the port that the VPN connects to the VPN server on the other end with. 443 is SSL. That's fine. Scramble probably is what port that your traffic is coming out on their server, so that people say, oh, that's coming out on port 80. That's web traffic. Let's leave it alone, or whatever. Then you have some other things here, contact support. So pretty straightforward. So now that you have those settings all set up, let's just go start. You see, you just go down here, click connect. The very first time that you start this up, you're going to have to accept that the VPN, the Fire TV device, wants to make sure that there's not some malicious actor that's trying to open a VPN connection. It's not in this case, obviously. You want a VPN connection, so click OK. And at the top left, you'll see the connecting, and now I'm connected to Glasgow, United Kingdom. And for all intents and purposes, for everything that I connect to from this point on, whether it be a web browser or a streaming app, it will appear that I'm in Glasgow. This is particularly good for people that are expats that live down here and they want to watch things that are on BBC. BBC has an app that you can't watch unless you're in the country. For that purpose, this is a great purpose for that. So you have a little graph that comes up and shows you there's not really that much traffic going on right now because I'm not doing anything, but it does keep track of your traffic. And so you can see, if you were curious and you were thinking, oh, my movies aren't streaming as good as I'd like, let me run and jump into the VPN and make sure that I'm not on a server that might be slow. And you can go in here and look and see if your traffic seems high, and you think, oh, well, right now I'm getting, X number down. That's sufficient. Things like that. So anyway, guys, this is the week to do this. If you're going to grab this VPN, it's, like I said, 66% discount. And you see how easy it is to install on your Fire Stick. So I'm going to put all the links below to everything. And I appreciate you guys watching. If you do like my videos and you find them useful, please like and subscribe and turn on the notifications so that when I put a video out, I try to do a video once a week. I apologize. I'm sometimes not as diligent because I do write the articles as well on the website. So, but anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep sending you more. And if it's something you'd like to see, obviously drop a comment, and I'll cover whatever you want. I'll talk about whatever you want. All right. Thanks a lot.